Hey folks, I am your host, Cameron, and today we are going to be doing another Clickteam tutorial video on how to make a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game. And in today's episode, we are going to be discussing the camera system. So we're going to be making a camera monitor that you can flip up and down. When you flip up the camera monitor, you can see a map, your camera buttons, your actual cameras, and potentially like the names of the rooms if you would like. That's completely optional, but I'm gonna add that in for this tutorial. So sorry I have not uploaded for the past like 2 weeks, but I was kind of dreading making this video because I feel like this is gonna be a longer video because there's a lot more stuff that we have to code in. There's a lot more stuff that we have to import, and I feel like it's just gonna overwhelm me, so I haven't even really attempted to try it, but doesn't matter. We're here now, and we are going to do this. So, the first thing I would do is I would go up to your layers toolbar, and I would make a fourth layer. I kind of did this before, but I'll delete the layer and I'll do it again. So I'm just gonna add in a new layer, go up to my fourth, make sure the fourth layer is on top of everything else, and we're going to right-click, insert object, active, and we're going to call this the camera monitor animation. So I'm gonna do this first. I did do some little pre-recordings of this last time, and I did the camera animation afterwards because of the whole order situation, but I'll show you that when we get there. So once you have that inserted, double click into it, and we want to have about maybe 6 to 10 different camera animations for every single frame that is being lifted up. So if I go into here, not that, if I go over to my Clickteam tutorial assets and I go down to my camera monitor, as you can see I have 8 frames of each of my monitor frames. So one of the monitor frames is it slightly down, just being lifted up, and then so on and so forth. So I'm going to insert all of those, make sure my transparent color is not black because then it won't see anything, and I'm just gonna insert all of my camera animation frames. So yeah, I have 8 obviously, like I said before, but it doesn't really matter how much you have. The more frames you have for your animation, the slower it'll probably run, but you can obviously adjust that in the directions option, so that's not even gonna be a big issue or nothing. So I'm just gonna insert all these, and we're gonna do the same thing we did last time, where we had to make 2 animations for both of kind of like our doors, where we have an animation for it down and for an animation of it up. We're gonna do the same thing for the camera monitor, and I actually should have done that first, but we'll fix that. So almost done. I got one more, and boom. Now the reason I don't have a final, like another camera animation where it's just like completely black, which means that you're in the camera monitor, is because you're not really gonna see the monitor once you see the cameras. If you remember in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, when you lift up the camera monitor, you don't actually see the camera monitor, you're just flipped onto the actual cameras. So that's what it all looks like. I think it looks pretty good, but obviously we want to go over to the view hotspot. So to do that, go over to the blue target, aka view hotspot, and hold down Alt and press the middle square, and if you play animation, it should be crisp. Good. And I'm actually gonna make this just a little bit faster, so I'm gonna make this 65. Let me see if that works. No, I'll make it 80. Let me see it. Alright, that works. Now what I would do next is go over to your animations over here, right click, new, and we're gonna title this cam up. Good. And we're gonna make another animation, right click, new, cam down. I should have done this first, but whatever, we'll fix that. So go over back to your stopped animation and just select all of them, and then press Control C, and then just completely delete the stopped animation. Boom. And once you have all the camera animation frames copied, go over to your cam up and go into frame 1 and just press Control V. Nice. Now obviously you have another frame added, all because of this little rhombus right here. So just get rid of that. Just go to your last frame and just boom, and boom, we have our camera up. Now, we're gonna copy it again, just to make sure we still have it copied to our clipboard. We're gonna go over to cam down, frame 1, Control V, and then go over to frame 9, delete that, and then just put your last frame to the first frame, so like kind of like this, in this order. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's basically what I'm doing, where I just kind of drag it back so it looks like it's down, so we don't have to make another animation frame for everything. But there we go, we have it for down. So we have that, and I would just slide this in here. I'm actually gonna snap the grid so it can fit in there perfectly. Now the next step we want to do and also before I get like kind of anywhere, every time you insert a new object for the cameras, be sure to go over, and I'm actually gonna do this right now. Select your camera monitor animation, go over to runtime options, and uncheck follow the frame. We're gonna do this for every single new object that we insert. I don't think it does it for strings, it only does it for active objects, but basically, every time you insert a new active object, just be sure you have follow the frame unchecked, because if you don't, it's just gonna stay in this one area, unless you want like a FNaF 3 camera monitor, but we don't want that. I don't want that, at least, so I'm just gonna uncheck that, and boom. It's working and it follows us. Now obviously the camera animation is playing without us even really doing anything. So to fix that, we're gonna fix that, but what we want to do next is we actually want to insert a camera toggle now. And then we'll code out the whole animation thing, and then we'll add in our camera buttons and stuff. So we're gonna right click, insert object, active, okay? And we're gonna rename this to camera toggle. Yes, spelled it right. Yep, camera toggle. Double click into that, and just insert your camera toggle. Now, mine's very retro looking. I made it retro like that on purpose. You don't have to do anything with the hotspot because it's not an animation. There we go. I'm gonna insert it down here. Be sure that your camera toggle is in front of your camera animation monitor. Our camera animation monitor, if you're following along with me exactly, is on the 4th frame, that's why it says 4, and then semicolon, and then 1, which means it is the first object, or the farthest object back on the 4th layer. And 2, the camera monitor is on layer 4, which is with the 4, semicolon, and then 2, because it's in front of the 1. But if you want your camera monitor behind your camera animation, you can right click, order to back, and if you don't like that, you can just go order to front, or you can go right click, order backwards or forward one, because if you go to back, it automatically sends that object to as the first object in layer 4, and if you go to bring the front, then it'll be the it's gonna be the last object inserted on the 4th frame. Makes sense? It's very confusing, I know, but once we load this up, alright, cool. Oh, but I forgot. Remember, every time you insert a new object, go over to runtime options and be sure to uncheck follow the frame. Now it should be good. Nice. Alright, now we're gonna really quickly, we're gonna go over to the event editor. No, we're not actually, I'm lying. We're going to right click, insert, go over to counter, okay? And we're gonna title this, camera animation counter. Or no, camera animation trigger. I like that better. Cool. So now that we have that done, we're gonna go over to event editor. We're going to insert a new group of events. If you're following along with me exactly, it should be 45. Right click on that, insert a group of events, and we're gonna title this camera animation. Good. Now we want to go over to new condition. Where is it? Storyboard controls, start a frame. Go over to the camera animation trigger. Right click, set counter to 0. And we want to go over to our actual camera animation monitor, which mine is just an active object. I don't know why, but it says it up there, camera monitor animation. Right click, animation, change, animation sequence to cam down? No. Just right click on it and just go animation stop. We don't have to change it to nothing. Then right click on it again and go over to visibility visible. So now it shouldn't be there. Good. It's not there no more. Cool. Okay. Next what we want to do is we want to go over to new condition. The mouse and keyboard. The mouse. User clicks on an object with any button you want. Go over to the camera toggle. Okay. And we want to go over to the user clicks. Right click, insert, go over to the camera animation trigger. Compare the count to your value, 0. Then in this line of code, we want to go over to the timer. Right click, fire event after given delay. We'll say this is going to be 300 per second. And that is going to be camera animation up. Or you can just say like cam up or anything. Excuse me. Then you want to copy. Okay. New condition. The timer. On event. Camera animation up. We want to go over to the camera animation trigger. Right click. Set counter to 1. And then you want to go over to your camera monitor animation. Right click. Animation. Start. Right click on it again. Animation. Change. Animation sequence to cam up. Then you want to right click on it again. Go over to visibility. Make object reappear. Cool. So now if we click this, boom, camera comes up. Because we set the counter at the start of the frame to 0, we click on the button while the counter's to 0, and then it comes up. Now I want to do the opposite. So we want to go over to new condition, keyboard and mouse, the mouse, user clicks on an object, camera toggle, insert on the same line of code, on the user clicks, go over to camera animation trigger, compare the counter to a value, 1, cool, go over to the timer, in the line of code, fire event after given delay, we'll say this is going to be 300 per second again. And we're going to say this is camera animation down. Cool. Actually, no, let me just uppercase these. And then I'm going to copy. Okay. New condition. The timer. On event. Boom. Camera animation down. I want to go back over to this line of code. Camera animation down. I thought I messed something up, but I didn't. I want to go over to the camera monitor animation. Right click. Animation. Start. Right click. Animation. Change. Animation sequence to cam down. Right click on it again. Visibility. Make object reappear. And then we want to go over to the counter and just set this counter to 0. Cool. So now we have a functioning camera system, right? Yep. We can lift it up and we can lift it down. But as you can see, the camera animation doesn't go down because we didn't make animation stop. So let's do that real quick. So we're going to go over to new condition. Where is it? Camera monitor animation. Animation. Has an animation finished. Cam up. Cam up. Okay, there we go. Then we want to actually go over to the camera monitor animation. Right click. Animation. Stop. Right click it on again. Visibility. Make object invisible. Because we're lifting the camera up and we don't want to see the camera. So if I did this, it should work, right? Yep. Camera animation is done for up there. When I click on it again, it should go down. But then obviously it doesn't go down. It just comes right back up because we didn't stop the animation. So go over to new condition. Camera monitor animation. I'm slowly losing my voice. Animation has an animation finish. Cam down. Go over to the camera monitor animation. Right click. Visibility. Make object reappear. Right click on it again. Actually, no. Don't do that. Don't do what I just did. Right click on it. Visibility. Make object reappear. Right click on it again. Animation. Start. Or no. Wait, I did that, right? No, I did it backwards. God damn it. Animation. Stop. Right click. Visibility. Invisible. Right? Did that. Yeah, see, I knew what I was talking about. Oh my god. Yeah, sorry for that, but you just gotta make the stop animation for both of these. And as you can see, we have a perfectly functioning camera system. Cool. Awesome. So, that's all cool and dandy. We want to go over to new condition. Go over to the camera animation trigger. Compare the counter to a value 1. Go over to new condition. Go over to camera animation counter. Compare the counter to a value 0. Cool. So we have that up. We'll code some stuff in there eventually, but for now, we want to go back over to our frame editor and actually insert our stuff for the camera. So what we're going to insert first is the actual camera. So we're going to go right click, insert object. We're going to go over to, actually, before I do that, bring your little camera toggle here, bring it below the actual like game canvas. When you run the frame, it's not going to be there, but we're going to do this as a little like, I'm going to just show you guys what's happening. So yeah, just bring that below from when we actually insert the camera. So speaking of which, we're going to go right click, insert, active. We're going to go over to rename it. We're going to camera. We're going to rename it cameras. Cool. Now, I have about 6 cameras for all of my different locations, so I'm just going to insert all of my cameras. I will be honest, I did not try on them at all, but, you know, it's a camera animation, or we want to insert all of our cameras in the same camera's active object. So just do that, just insert all the cameras you want to, all the camera buttons, all that. Do that, go to camera 4, insert that, new frame, camera 5, cool, new frame, and camera 6. Cool. Go over to frame 1, go over to the view hotspot up here, hold down Alt, and then press the middle square. And now we have our cameras. So I'm going to snap to grid this down here, and there we go. Now, the reason I wanted you guys to put the camera toggle down here was because if you brought this into the canvas, you can't see the actual like camera toggle. So if you want to fix this, so you want your camera toggle to come up front every single time, actually I think we're gonna have to fix that eventually, but we're gonna right click on it, order, and just send it to the front. So now it's in front of your cameras. If you did that correctly. Correct? Yeah. It's in front of my cameras now. So just remember, just do all that, whatnot. And remember, click on your cameras, go over to runtime options, and uncheck follow the frame. So now, that's all good. Cool. Awesome. Now, the next thing I'm going to insert is a map. So I'm going to insert object, active, and we're going to rename this to map. Cool. I'm going to double click into it, and I'm just going to insert a picture of my map. Do I have it in here? Yeah, I do. Okay. I don't know why it's pink, but let me just change that real quick. Okay, there we go. Cool. I have my map, and there we go. Awesome. And now the next step we want to do is we want to go over to runtime options while we have the object selected, and uncheck follow the frame. Remember, you're going to do that every single time. I forget to do it sometimes, so no one's going to judge you if you forget. Next we want to do is insert all of our camera buttons. So we want to have like a camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, so we can actually see all the individual frames of our camera. So we want to go right click, insert object, active. Okay. We're going to rename this to camera 1, or camera toggle 1. Or no, just camera button 1. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Cool. Double click into it. Go over to just insert your camera buttons. I have 6 cameras, and I have 6 camera buttons. And I'm just gonna put this like right here, since my camera 1's right there. I'm going to clone it. Yeah, I'm gonna clone it. Right click on your camera button 1, and then go clone object. Remember, do not right click and press duplicate or copy and paste. Just go over and just clone it. Boom. Double click into your camera button 2 now, and go over to camera 2 toggle. If you're following along with me exactly and have kind of like the same things I do. Good. Bring that over here. I'm going to right click on my camera button 2. I'm going to clone it. And I'm going to just kind of like bring it up here. And then I am going to double click into it and just insert my camera 3 toggle. Perfect. Just do this as many times as you might. I like, all depending on how much cameras you have. Give me that camera button 4. And I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just clone the object and then just insert your different camera buttons. So I have two I'm gonna do camera 5 and camera 6. Edit 5. No, don't cancel the changes. No. Cool. Right click, clone object. Okay. Bring it up here because this is my camera 6. And camera 6. Cool. Now the next thing you want to do is hold down shift and then click all of your camera buttons. This will multi-select every single one of them. And obviously, like I said before, go over to runtime options if you have your multi-selection of all your camera buttons. And then uncheck follow the frame. Cool, so now we have everything. When we scroll around, nothing stays on frame. Cool. So we have all that. And that's looking pretty good. I think what I might do is I might insert my room names. Like, I'm gonna insert a string that has all my room names and stuff on it. So, I'm gonna go right click, insert object. I'm gonna go over to, string. Cool. And I'm just gonna make this, I'm gonna title this, room name string. Cool. And I'm going to go over to the text options. I'm going to change the font to Terminal. Cool. And I'm going to change the font of this to about 25. Alright, extend this out. Cool. And I am going to go color white so it kind of goes over everything. Nice. Now, another thing, I'm going to just extend this all the way across my, my cameras because I don't know how big my room names are going to be. But all depending on how many cameras you have, you want to have like that many room names too. So for example, my camera 1 is going to be up in the room name string. It's going to be like left hallway. Camera 2 in the room name string is going to be right hallway. And 3 is going to be left stairs and all that. So I'm going to click onto my room name strings. And this whole next part is completely optional. If you don't want to have a string that says your room names, you don't have to do any of this, but just select your room name string, go over to the settings, and where it says paragraph 1, go to new. Obviously, remember, like I said before, I have 6 cameras, so I'm going to insert 6 different paragraphs. I'm going to go over to, once you have all of those paragraphs that you want, I'm going to go over to my paragraph 1, and I'm gonna just type in cam semicolon left hallway. Now, if you don't like that you can't really see all of your words in this little like text box, you can actually click this little like triple mouse thing and it'll bring up like a whole separate thing. I don't know why it's not showing my full body thing, but as you can see, it says cam left body now because I put that in my first paragraph. But I'm going to do that for all of these. So for my paragraph 2, I'm just going to title it cam semicolon. I don't think I'm using that right. Isn't semicolon the... I don't know. I'm just going to title it right hallway in all caps because why not? My camera 3 is going to be... I'm going to title it cam left stairway. Because it is literally... It's quite literally stairs. I'm gonna go over to paragraph 4, cam right stairway. Cool. Paragraph 5, I'm gonna title this cam dining area. And then paragraph 6 is going to be cam show stage. Cool. So this will come into play later, because we have everything done now. We don't have to add anything else. Maybe you want to add some static over your cameras. which would actually be a good idea, and I might actually do that. And that's actually what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna right click, insert object, active. You don't have to do this either. You don't have to add static, but it definitely helps. Gonna rename this to static. And like the menu, just insert your static however you would like. You can do it one by one, or you can insert as an animation. Just be sure to rename your static like static 1, static 2, static 3, so that the whole like Clickteam can actually detect that, yes, I'm inserting like all these camera animations. So I have all my static. Go over to view hotspot, middle box, and then I'm going to just snap this over all that. Once I have that, I'm going to click on it, go over to blend coefficiency, blend coefficient, not coefficiency, and I'm just gonna type in 175 so I can actually see everything. Ooh, let me go 215. Okay, that's better. Be sure to go over to your runtime options once you have your static, and be sure to uncheck follow frame, and we should be good. Right? Yep, we're good. So now let's actually code in our cameras. So we're gonna go over to camera animation, and right where it says I'm actually gonna switch these around. Right where it says camera animation trigger equals 0, I'm gonna go over and make everything on my cameras invisible. So you know, I see this, you know, actually I don't know if this is gonna work. Let me just do an experiment real quick. Get rid of the line of code where it says camera animation trigger equals 1. Just get rid of that. We don't need that. Just get rid of that. And where it says camera animation equals, well, no, camera animation trigger equals 0. Make everything that revolves around your actual cameras invisible. So my cameras themselves, I'm gonna right click, visibility, invisible. I'm gonna go over to my map, which is in my cameras, right click, visibility, visible. Go over to all of my camera buttons, my static, and just make all that invisible. To make this easier, you can just drag the check marks over and it'll copy the line of code. You can't drag it over to like counters and strings and all that, since those are just kind of different. But if I start the frame, nothing's there except for my static in left hallway. But let me just get rid of that. Just get rid of the static. Right click on the string over here, which is our root name, visibility, invisible. Now it should be good. Yep, we're good. And obviously, we don't see it no more, but we are going to fix that. What are you doing? Get back down there. Yeah, okay, cool. No, go back up there. Alright, so go over to where it says camera animation up is over, and we're just gonna do the opposite of our camera animation trigger equals 0. Go over to our animation cam up is over, go over to our cameras, right click, visibility, reappear, and like I said before with the invisible, I'm just gonna drag it all over because it's virtually the same code except everything's just reappearing. Right click over my string, visibility, reappear. So if I did this correctly, we should be able to see the camera. So as you can see, can't really see nothing right here. And then when we flip up, boom, we can see our cameras. And we lift it down, it's gone, all that. Sick. Alright, and actually as a little nice touch, we're gonna make our light buttons disappear too, or like the lights in our hallway. So right where it says animation up is over, just go over to your left hallway light activation counter, set counter to 0, and do the same thing for the right hallway light. So because in the first game, if you kept the light on and you flipped at the camera, it would automatically go off. So we can just do that same thing for this too. Right, so if I do that and just flip it up, boom, good. Okay, now we're actually gonna make our cameras. I'm sorry I'm taking so long to actually get to the camera. So we're gonna make a whole new group of events. And we're gonna title this camera triggers. Awesome. Go over to new condition, the mouse and keyboard, the mouse, user clicks on an object. We're gonna say camera 1. When the user clicks on camera 1, oh shit, I forgot to add that. God damn it. Alright. So let's rewind a little bit. What we want to do after we insert all of our camera stuff, we want to right click, insert object, go over to counter, okay. And we're gonna rename this to view cameras. View camera counter, whatever. Do that. And when you click on camera 1, go over to our camera, or no, view camera counter. Right click, set counter to 1. And we're going to do this for all of our camera buttons. So I'm just going to go over to new condition, keyboard and mouse. The mouse usually clicks on an object, camera 2. Go over to my view camera counter, right click, set counter to 2. Cool. Go over to new condition, keyboard and mouse. The mouse usually clicks on an object. Cool. Camera 3. Go over to our view camera. Just set it to 3. It's pretty much. Whoa, what does it say to? Not 3.0. What the? 3. Just be sure to do this every single time to all of your cameras. You have 8 cameras. You're gonna have to do this 8 times. All that. All right, cool. We have all of our camera triggers now. Awesome. So we have all that. And we have just all that. So now we want to go over to new condition, or not new condition. We want to go over to our 63rd line of code. Right click, insert group of events, and we're gonna title this. We're just gonna title this. What? Cameras? Yeah, just cameras. Camera view. Ooh, I'm getting fancy now. So go over to camera view. Go over to new condition. Go over to your view camera counter. Left click on that. Compare the counter to a value 1. And when this is equal to 1, then we want to go over to our camera animation, or our cameras. We want to right click, animation, change animation frame to 0. Remember, the first frame is always 0. The second frame is always 1. The second frame is always I'm messing. The first frame is always 0. The second frame is always 1. The third frame is always 2, and so on and so forth. I don't know why Clickteam does it like that, but you know what? Whatever. If it works, it works. So, like with the camera triggers, just do that same thing for this. So I'm gonna go over to my view camera, compare the counter to value 2. I'm gonna go over to my cameras, right click, animation, change animation frame to 1, aka the second camera, because it's the first frame, but it's the second camera, but 1 equals 2, 2 equals 3, all that, you get it. And just do that for all of your cameras as well. I'm gonna cut this out as well because you guys really do not need to see this. Now that we have all of that down, we can actually see if this works. So we're gonna go over to start a frame, or not? Yeah. Go to camera, and if I click any one of these cameras, it should take me to whatever frame I selected. So I'm gonna press camera 1. Oh shit, I forgot. Alright, so once you're done with all of that, we want to do something else that I completely forgot to do. We want to go over to new condition, storybook controls, start a frame. We're gonna drag this all the way up to the top of our camera view, and I'm gonna go over to cameras, right click, animation, change animation frame to 0, which is our first frame. I'm gonna go over to my view counter, and I'm gonna set this counter to 1, because that's our first camera and this is our first frame. So, excuse me, I forgot to do that, but now it should work now. So go over to camera, and then boom, we're on our first camera. And if I click over to my camera 2, it takes me over to my second camera. 3, awesome. Now, as you can see, our camera string does not change. It just says left hallway, but like I said before, this don't look like a hallway, and this doesn't look like it's on the left. Like, these are stairs. How is this? How? You know what I mean? So we're gonna change that, and also, I forgot to loop my static, so let me just change that as well. But what we want to do is, we want to go down to our camera view, and where it says view camera equals 1, go over to our string over here, right click, set paragraph to which one you want. So, like, which one corresponds to. So, 1 is my left hallway, because it's the first counter. We did this, and we did this before. Over to our view counter, or view camera equals 2. Just go over to the room name string, right click, set paragraph to 2, which is our cam right hallway. Once again, for the third time, it's just the same thing. Go over to our third camera view counter and then just select our third paragraph. All that. That is if you decided to actually add in a string that said the names. You don't have to do this. Actually, I don't even think you can do this with without it, but you get what I mean. So I'm over by my 5th view counter. I'm setting it to dining area because that's my 5th paragraph. I'm going to set this last one to 6. So now it should work. Right? Yep. So our camera 1 left hallway. If I click on camera 2, right hallway. If I click on camera 3, left stairway. If I click on camera 4, right stairway. All that. Cool. And I'm actually going to loop my static too, but we have a fully functioning camera system now. Yeah, that was way easier than I thought it was going to be. Holy shit. So, yeah, we have a fully functioning camera system. I think it's a little gig. If you want, like, camera static, I'm going to show you how to do that. Or, like, if you've ever played FNaF or, like, any FNaF fan games, you know that once you click onto a camera, it has a little, like, fade to it. So it starts off as, like, oh my god, I can't see anything. But then it kind of fades out, and then you can actually see the camera. So if you want to add that in, stick around. But otherwise, that's it for the tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. But for those who want to stick around, stick around. And we're going to just do all these. So, yeah. Why did I open that? Okay, cool. Now, I'm actually going to go loop my static real quick, and then we'll begin our next step. Alright, so now, we're going to get into a little complicated stuff. So, I'm going to go over to my camera view. I'm going to go over to new condition. We're going to go over to, static. We're going to go over to, where is it? What is it called again? Compare expression to a value? Or, I think it's just compare two values, I don't know. Alright, so I'm stupid. So we go over to new condition. We go over to static. Actually, no, we don't. We go over to the special, which is the little gears over here. We go always. The same line of code. We go right click, insert. We go over to the static. We go over to compare expression to value. Then from here, we have two little windows. Just be sure to select this one up top. Scroll down until you see your static. Left click into that. Effect, alpha blending coefficient, yeah. Then we want to go over to where this little drop down menu is, where it says equal, and then we want to go lower. And when it's lower than 200, then we want to go over to our static, right click on that, effect, set alpha blending coefficient, go over to go scroll down. Once you make it to this window where it says alpha blending coefficient 0 to 255, scroll down till you see your static, left click that, effect, alpha blending coefficient, and then once you have that, press space, add a plus sign, press space again, and add 5. Boom. From there, we want to scroll up where it says camera triggers, go over to our static, in every single one of these, right click, underneath static and the user clicks with left button on camera 1, go over to effect, set alpha blending coefficient to 0. And we want to do this across all of our cameras, so our camera buttons, so just bring it down. And to ensure this works, go over to camera view where it says start a frame, and just go underneath static, right click, effect, set alpha blending coefficient to 0. So, or no. Not when it's start a frame. When you actually click the camera toggle. So up to camera animation. When animation cam up is over, go over to the static again, right click, effect, set alpha blending coefficient to 0. And if I did this right, we kind of have like a perfectly good camera fade. Hopefully. So, let's check this out. So I go over to my cameras. Boom. We saw the static and then it disappeared. So we go over to, just click this. Oh, yeah, okay, we're switching. Yeah. Cool. So now we have a really good spiffy, like, camera animation now. Awesome. Awesome. Now, if you have your, obviously, like I said before, if you have your little camera toggle in the back behind the static, I don't find it as an issue really, since I can still click on it and whatnot. But if it's an issue for you, if you want to kind of like see this in front of the static, obviously, like I said before, I'm gonna lock up my static. Just right click and press lock. Go over to my camera toggle, right click, order, and just go to front. So now it's in front of everything else. And to unlock my static, you go Control Shift plus, and boom, static is back. So now that's pretty much it for the tutorial. It all works, it all fits, and yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more, let me know in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe, do all that fun jazz, and I will see you guys in the next episode. See you guys.